Communicating by graphs tends to come after you've communicated with a table. So we start with a well-formatted table, and now we're going to take the data from this table, the frequency of the tuning fork, and the average length of the air columns, and we're going to make a scatter plot. Now when we start off, the plot doesn't look very nice, so we're going to see if we can fix that up. Add in some chart titles. I also deleted the series name because it's just not necessary. So we'll call this the resonant lengths of a closed air column. Sure, you can come up with some nicer names than that as well. It seems fine for this one. And we can go through the menu options in Excel and add in some labels for the axes as well. So the frequency of sound, and that's going to be in hertz. Always put the units with your axes labels. So length of the column, and that's in meters. Now we also want to have all of our grid lines showing. So I'm putting in the minor grid lines as well, for both the horizontal and the vertical grid. Now you'll see here that there's a lot of empty space on the graph. So what I'm doing is I'm going through the axes formats, and I can adjust where they start. So we're just going to move the axes up to a more suitable position. We just change the minimum, and now there's much less empty space. Now the next thing we want to do is add our trend line. The trend line comes in automatically as linear. We could change that if we want to. And in the later clip, we'll probably see that maybe we should change this one, because we're going to find that one of the data points doesn't quite lie near enough to the line. You can force the intercept as being 0, but that doesn't make any sense for this kind of a graph, since it's a negative gradient. And we can show the equation for the graph, the equation for the trend line, on the graph. And make that legible. You can also give it a white background, but I didn't do that in this clip. For a few final touch-ups, we're just going to make the major grid lines and the axes black instead of gray, as they default to gray in Excel. And making them black just makes it easier to read, a lot more legible to the reader. Remember, this is all about communication. And there we have it, a nicely formatted graph with a basic trend line.